Well, good morning. As we all get ready for the big game later today here on WBZ, a game which, by the way, will conclude with the Pats winning 31-27. You heard it here first. It's a great time to chat with one of the country's most interesting writers on the topic of the seemingly never-ending overlap of sports and the law. He is Michael McCann, a professor at the University of New Hampshire School of Law, founding director of the Sports and Entertainment Law Institute there, and a legal analyst and writer for Sports Illustrated. Mike, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me, John.
Really appreciate it. Good to see you. So the last time I saw you, I visited your class on DeflateGate at UNH. That's over with, right? You're not still teaching that, are you?
Well, this was the fourth year in a row of teaching it.
You did do it again.
I continued to teach it 3 more times. We've had over 250 students between the residential and online versions, and it's a very popular class. We're going to convert it into more of a sports law class.
Right.
But it was a big hit.
Well, as a result of all of that, you probably know more about the legal aspects of DeflateGate than anyone. So I wanted to ask you, just the other day, a TV producer in Pittsburgh lost his job when he, was apparently catering to those bitter, jealous, loser Steeler fans. He inserted a chyron onto video of Tom Brady that identified Brady as a, quote, known cheater. Was there ever meaningful evidence that would pass the laugh test in a court of law that Tom Brady cheated with those footballs?
No, nothing that could ever, certainly no court would ever find that he did anything to the footballs that violated the rules. The big problem with the NFL's accusation was that it didn't mesh with science. Very basically, the NFL didn't adequately consider the role of temperature with the football's air pressure. So when you add in temperature to the equation, the footballs measured exactly as you would have expected them to measure given the weather in Foxborough that evening. And the evidence against Tom Brady was based on a text message between 2 locker room assistants. Yeah. And then later on, there was the footballs that went to the men's room for about 140 seconds, which maybe because the person had to go to the bathroom rather than some kind of great conspiracy deflating footballs. So no, there was certainly no direct evidence. It was a failed effort by the NFL, but ultimately the lesson for the union, for the players, was you better negotiate a better CBA because they were still able to hold Brady responsible.
When is that contract up again?
A few years.
Yeah, okay. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. At great expense to my mental health, my assignment the other day was to watch Commissioner Goodell's press conference in its entirety, which I did. He deflected questions about the lawsuit by Colin Kaepernick alleging collusion by the NFL owners to keep him off their rosters, even as vastly inferior quarterbacks have been getting an opportunity. What is the status of that case? I've been reading there's some talk of a settlement. What's up with that? So
right now we're waiting for the decision by the arbitrator, who's Stephen Burbank. He's a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Last year, Kaepernick had a win of sorts in that the arbitrator refused to give the NFL summary judgment, which means that Kaepernick has something. We don't know what it is. Maybe it's a comment by an owner, maybe it's a text message, maybe it's an email, but it's something. A lot of people laughed at Kaepernick that this was just him being upset. He clearly has some degree of evidence. He may not win, but he has something, and we're waiting for a decision any day from the arbitrator.
If he were to win, not just win a settlement, but win, wouldn't that set an amazing precedent? And someone could argue that essentially, for political reasons, you're denying me an opportunity.
It would, and it would show that the teams are not only doing that, but talking to each other about him, that they're really colluding. And for Kaepernick, it would be a big financial win because then there would be treble damages, whatever he would have got times 3.
Wow, so that's millions and millions
Many
of dollars.
millions.
Yeah, wow. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll continue our conversation with Professor Michael McCann, our sports law expert, in just a moment here on WBZ. Stay with us.